Hello guys, the GB Grinder here, back at it again with another video, and this time I have another meta tier list I wanted to go ahead and go over. So this is post YCS 250th, and let's just go ahead and hop right in. So the first one, we have Dragon Link. We saw Dragon Link do well over in London. It's pretty cool to see this deck do well. A lot of good players were playing it, and I think that, might have a little bit more potential from where it was. The thing is, just like the Bestial cards are so strong, like Branded Reganged, but the deck still has a lot of problems. Like a Rise Heart Pass still just really hurts the deck. So even though, while I do think more people are playing it and it was doing better, it's probably just because it was like really good players playing it. I still don't think the deck is like really good or anything. So I'm just gonna put it in like the decent spot. Next we have Branded. We saw Branded do well at a few of the YCSs. I don't think it got top 4 in any of them or anything like that, but it was getting tops. I think I'll put Branded in the good spot. I still think the deck is like okay. I don't think it's very good for a very long YCS or anything like that. Eventually you're just praying that you don't brick, or you don't draw awkward going second, or you don't get hit with Ash Blossom game 3. Just like, and then also there's like Runic Materia, which just ends on Nabeast, and Nabeast is like weird. It's really good versus Branded. Flounderies. We saw this reach the top 4 of YCS LA, and they played no extra deck. Interesting way to play it. It dodges Mind Hacker, but then you can't play Prosperity, Extravagance. These like really good consistency cards. So there's like upsides and downsides to playing no extra deck. I'm going to put this deck in the decent spot. Next we have Mathmech. Mathmech plays a bunch of hand traps. It definitely got tops at the YCSs. I wasn't really looking at it that much. I know it got one top in LA. I'm pretty sure top 16. But, probably had a bunch of tops at the YCSs just because like it's like an overall decent deck. Plays a bunch of hand traps. Strong going first. Access code line going second with the update jammer. I think this deck is like almost like the definition of like decent. I do think it'll have its day to shine, but it's not there yet. Labyrinth. This deck did not perform very well at all at the YCS. I think there's a few reasons why. One, everybody is prepared for back row, one way or another. Cosmic Cyclone is really popular. If you play Kashtira and you end with a Rise Heart with Cosmic Set against Labyrinth, you're gonna have 2 back row during their end phase, or maybe a Rise Heart 1, Cosmic 1 on your turn, a Rise Heart 1 on your turn. So you're adding like 3 back row already, and then at the same time, your Labyrinth player opponent doesn't know what kind of end board you're gonna make, so they don't know what to side in, because they might side in Sphere mode and then you just go a Rise Heart Pass and you win. Or they're gonna just hope that they can like use some traps against you, but then you set up like full end board with like Pressured Planet, a Rise Heart, Shangri-La, so then you're like popping back row, banishing back row, setting up a huge field. Pot of Prosperity really hurts this deck, because you can prosp into like Elder or the Fossil, and then like those are pops. Also at the same time, there was like Runic Materia that was pretty popular, and Runic cards are good against Labyrinth. So I'm going to move Labyrinth down a little bit, which may be a little controversial, but I'm going to move it down a little bit. It's also a trap deck. I feel like as formats go on further and further, usually trap decks get worse and worse. Then we have Runic. Not quite sure why that's there. I'm not going to lie. But I guess we'll go over pure Runic. I will put pure Runic. I'm gonna put it in the bad category, because everyone's playing Cosmic right now. Like everyone's side decks 3 Cosmic. This deck kind of relies on its floodgates to have a chance, and also has awkward times where you draw too many floodgates off your fountain and then you're just kind of like behind the entire game. Nabeast is popular right now, which just destroys a deck like Runic. Yeah, I think pure Runic can be in the bad category. And then we have I know I don't have like the little mixtures, but this is Melfi Sprite, and Melfi Sprite did win YCS London, but even though it won, I think for the 250th YCS, Sprite was a very solid choice. It wouldn't be the deck I took. I probably would have taken Kashtira if I went, and then my second choice would have been Sprite. But I think after the YCS, Sprite actually gets hurt because now people are respecting the deck. Dark Ruler is in everybody's side deck right now. So I think people are going to be more prepared for a deck like Sprite. So before, I thought Sprite was like really good. And now I think Melfi Sprite would probably just be in the good category. Next we have Kashtira. I think it's the best deck. I think Kashtira is very, 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 very strong in what it does. It's very consistent at what it does. Plays a bunch of non-engine. Its end board is good enough. It has follow-up. It really has a lot of what you need to be a good deck. And with people having to prepare for the other decks in the format too, then they're not focusing as much on Kashtira in their main deck. People's side decks are very prepared for Kashtira, is what it seems like, and the main decks are becoming less prepared for it because, you know, if you main deck 6 books and then you go up against like a deck that's not Kashtira, like you got 6 books, right? You draw multiple books, it may not do a whole lot. Then we have Pure Sprite. Pure Sprite, I'm gonna put in bad. Actually, I'm gonna put it behind Pure Runic. I'm not gonna lie. It just has no end goal. Like I actually played against the deck earlier today, and they went like red, carrot, sprint, and then they went like Herald of Pure Light to add back blue for engrave and put a card back, and was like pass. Like that's my end board, and I was just like, oh, there's no way that could be your end board. This looks so bad. Like just overlay for Melfi stuff, and then like boom, it just becomes so much better. Or you know, you gotta commit to you need a good side engine in the deck. Then Trap Tricks. I'm gonna put this deck in bad. In front of that though, yeah, I think that's a good spot for it. I'm going to put it behind Flounderies. Trap Tricks, it's not really working. I saw people talking about maybe switching the deck up and taking a bunch of the trap cards out and kind of building it like an OCG Labyrinth deck list where it plays like a lot more engine and it's like a combo Trap Tricks deck, which doesn't sound bad. I mean, taking the trap hole cards out kind of sounds good because they're horrible going second. Every single one of them is horrible going second. And then we have, it's Live Twin, but this is the Live Twin Runic Sprite deck that we saw like Vince play, Joshua Schmidt play over at YCS London. I think this moving forward will probably it's like I kind of want to put it here and then maybe put this there. Even nah, it's probably like that. Yeah, I don't know. The Live Twin Sprite Runic deck feels like it's just trying to do too much, but at the same time, like it works because like you get the draw cards off the Live Twin stuff, which allows you to make Fountain better. Sprite cards are very, very strong. The Melfi build just seems so good in what it does. Like it sets up the same board like every single game, and the board is like too much for any deck to realistically beat without drawing like really good side deck options. But maybe these two will end up changing depending on what ends up being played for the non-engine. Because I'm kind of thinking it'll be like this. I think this may even be where it should be at like right now. Yeah, I'm actually gonna commit to that, just because I think it'll be harder to side deck against this deck than it will be this deck. But yeah, I think it's like okay for now. Okay, it's like okay, it's okay. Nah, I gotta put it back. Yeah, it's gonna be like this. This deck can play more non-engine. The non-engine is better against Cash, even though I know the Runic engine's kind of good against Cash. People are committing to a bigger end board now with Birth, which also hurts the Runic stuff. This deck can't Zeus as easy because they have Runic cards. Alright, next we got Rika. This is Rika Sun Avalon or Rika. I'm just going to go Rika Sun Avalon because we saw the like pure Rika deck get top 8 at the YCS. I'd have to put that in Mega Trash because that deck was just, I don't even know how they made it there. They were just going crazy with their plays. But I will put the Pure Rika deck. Actually, I think this deck needs to get put up higher now. I think it may need to go there. I think it may need to go higher just because the trap decks are falling out of the format, and that was what it felt like the deck had a true struggle with, because you could end on full combo, but if your opponent just like set 5 past, there was a chance that they would just still win the game. And now, you know, people, their end boards are going for Therion King with full combo, so Therion King helps with the traps a little bit. But then game 2, you have the Rose Whip Therion King, which truly beats the trap decks. And then I'm guessing you're probably also prepared for the traps post-side a lot heavier right now. Because as the format gets more, like as you can get the format more and more defined, it's easier to make your main deck and side deck accordingly to what the meta is. So I think that deck actually moves up. It's actually an underrated deck. Marincess, this might just be like, yeah, I'm going to put it there. Feels like Mathmech should be moved up, and then that should be moved down. Oh, okay. There we go, like that. Marincess is decent. It's not bad. Plays a bunch of hand traps. Its engine is pretty good. The engine's really, really strong. People just still don't know how to play against it, and they still don't know what the cards do. Like, if anybody ever has to read what Coral Triangle does, its Soul Charge effect, I don't know what to say, because it's literally Soul Charge on the follow-up, and people just won't know what's coming. They don't know the World Sea interaction. People just don't know how to interact with Marincess. Even if they know what the cards do, they don't know how to interact with it very well. They also don't know how to hand trap it. They always try to hand trap, like, the Link 1, or one of the Link 1s, and then, like, I don't know, you just go into, like, Coral Triangle, and Coral Triangle effect, go search for the trap, and then make Aqua. You have, like, Spell Trap Negate, Monster Negate, and Protection, and, like, you probably should just hold your interruptions for one of those two, at least. Next, we have Tier Limit. We did see Tier Top. I don't know how many of the YCS is a top. I know it topped LA. I want to put the deck at top. It's gotta go like bottom of decent, top of bad. I'll put it at bottom of decent. Has a lot of potential for sure. More people have been coming up with more and more goo for the deck. We've seen just more and more people playing it. As more people play the deck and get more goo for it and correct the ratios further and further, the deck will just become a little bit better. Bystials are completely out of the format too, which is good for it. Besides the dragon deck. And then we have Kamala, which is the Nichiria Runic deck. This deck, I think, is really good. I do think it is behind Kashtira, though. I don't think it's behind Kashtira by that much. Like, I don't think Kashtira is that much better than Runic Nichiria. And I do think Runic Nichiria is very solid. You can't really misplay with that deck, too, which is one thing. Because, like, I feel like any Runic deck, really, even, like, the Live Twin, Runic stuff and everything like that, you can't really misplay that much because you don't have a battle phase. So, like, if you misplay, then, like, it really will mess you over. But very solid deck. We didn't see that deck win a YCS last weekend, but it was in the finals of LA and the South American one. And then next, we have Dark World. Dark World did not perform well at all. A lot of people have moved to hand traps instead of board breakers like Book. At the same time, Droll is in a lot of people's main decks. Shifters in a lot of side decks of Cash. So it really just, like, the format just created a bad spot for Dark World. And also there was so many Cash in Top Cut that even if Dark World was making it there, Arise Heart Pass is still pretty strong against them. So, yeah, it's just like the format doesn't feel good for this deck with all the Droll and Shifter that's being played. All the hand trap. Everyone's moved from going second cards to hand traps. Another reason is because of the Nichiria deck, because you can't spell against that deck. So I think this deck's actually fallen quite a bit. Maybe put it there. Yeah, maybe put it there in the decent spot. And then we got the Runic Sprite Fur Hire deck that we saw Dinkan Fam play. Wait, That's the wrong name. Dinkanbu. Okay, there we go. I thought I heard Sprite and said the wrong name. Dinkanbu. Got I think third place at YCS London with the deck. I think the deck's really interesting. I haven't tried his version out yet. So like I've tried the deck before with Sprite cards, but it didn't turn out that well for me. So I want to try out his build, but it was really interesting what they were doing. So I don't have too much of an opinion on this deck because I haven't really tried it much. I haven't really theorized his build that much and what I would do with a lot of the plays. But I do think overall, Sprite cards are really good. Runic cards are really good. Fur Hire cards are excellent. A lot of people also don't know what those cards do, so you can gain a huge advantage off people not knowing them. So, just because I don't really know this build of the deck too much, and I think one of the reasons why he did so well is because people didn't know how to interact with these cards. I'm going to have to put it like here. Yeah, I'm going to have to put it there. Maybe once I learn the deck more, maybe I'll put it in the good spot, maybe even above everything else in good. I don't think it's definitely not gonna pass these two decks though. I think these are like the decks to beat right now. Sprite's also like a deck to beat. I think Sprite, Nachiria, and Kashtira are like the decks right now. But I don't want to waste any more of your time. Let me know how you feel about these tier lists. I might make them after like every big tournament or something. I just feel like the format has changed so much compared to like 2 weeks ago when I did the last one of these that it felt right to make another one of these. But I'll probably make another one of these before YCS Philly, and I probably won't make one until then, which I know it's like a month and a half away, but there's really not a whole lot happening between now and then. And with all that being said, the DB Grinders signing off. Peace. Have a nice day. Stay safe.